Hi everyone, okay, today we are going to recap another source-based source analysis skill. Okay, this skill is not unfamiliar to you. You all would have learnt it last year probably. Okay, so this is actually an inference with purpose type of question, and then we'll go through what this question type is. Okay, so our lesson objective for today, by the end of this whole lesson, you should be able to identify and explain the purpose of a source. You'll be able to identify and explain the purpose of the author in creating this source. Okay, so how does a purpose question look like? In your SBQ, usually you will see things like, why did the author say this? Why did the cartoonist publish this cartoon at this point in time? Why was the poster put up? Etc. Okay, so exactly what does purpose mean? Okay, purpose is they're trying to find out a reason for which something is being done, or a reason why something is created. Okay, which is why your question type is always why. Okay, and the most important thing is that you are trying to find out what the intentions of the author are. Okay, you are trying to find out what are they trying to convince the audience. Okay. And then after that, you are going to have to find out what do they eventually want the audience to do. Okay, so usually for certain sources, they are actually trying to get the audience to do something. And before the audience can do something, okay, they must first believe in what the author is trying to say. Okay, so what are the types of purpose an author would have? These are the generic ones. Okay, the first one would be to persuade, which also means to convince. Okay, you're trying to convince the audience about a certain viewpoint. Okay, the next type would be to inform, which is basically to teach or to educate the audience about a new information or a new fact. Okay, so this one usually your textbooks are created to inform. Okay, some of your historians, they write certain things to educate people as well, etc. Okay, and the last one is to entertain, which is basically just to let the audience enjoy something. Okay, and for history, we are focusing on this too, either to persuade or to inform. Okay, so we'll just go through a few question types, and then you will try and identify what purpose it is. Okay, so for this Pantene advertisement, okay, do you think it's meant to persuade, inform, or to entertain? 10 seconds. Okay, the answer is actually to persuade. Okay, they're not just informing you that, oh, you use our shampoo, you get stronger, shinier hair. And then after that, so what? After the audience is informed, so what? I may or may not believe you, what? Right? So the idea of this is to persuade, which is to convince. Okay, you're trying to convince your audience that, okay, this shampoo will make your hair healthier. Okay, and why must they tell people this? Why must they let the audience know that the shampoo will make your hair healthier? Because they are trying to get the audience to buy this shampoo. Okay, so this would have been the message of the source, and this is the outcome of the source. Okay? Okay, what about this textbook? What's the purpose of creating this textbook? Is it to persuade, inform, or to entertain? Okay, so for this textbook, it is actually meant to inform. You're trying to educate students about a certain subject, and over here it's mathematics lah. So when you're trying to educate, is that you're trying to let people know more about it. Okay, or to learn something new. Okay, it may or may not lead to the audience doing something, but at least they will be able to learn something new. Okay, and the last one, what's the purpose of creating this movie? Is it to persuade, to inform, or is it to entertain? Okay, so for most movies, for most films, television shows, etc., it's made to entertain so that your audience will enjoy things. Okay, but something to note, not all movies, films, music, etc. is for purely entertainment. Okay, so for example, documentaries are sometimes made to inform. Okay, sometimes it could be made in order to persuade people about a certain message. So for example, a documentary about recycling could actually be made in order to convince people of why it is necessary to recycle so that people will start. Okay, so this is something that you will need to take note of when you are examining historical sources or even for social studies. Alright, so okay, let's try one last one. Okay, what is the purpose of creating these posters? So, don't know if y'all can see it clearly. Okay, it's talking about cyberbullying. Okay, and it's by the Children's Society in Singapore. Okay, so for this poster, it could be to persuade, it could be to inform. Was it to entertain? Definitely not. Okay, so what are they trying to persuade or educate people? What are they trying to convince you? Okay, what they are trying to say is that cyberbullying, okay, is as harmful as hurting someone physically. Okay, or that cyberbullying can cause real harm as well. Okay, and what do you all think this poster is trying to get their audience to do? Okay, very likely the outcome is that they want people to stop cyberbullying. Okay. Okay, or it could be that they want to get people to stop other people from cyberbullying. Okay, so just a very quick recap. Okay, the types of purpose an author will have: to persuade and convince the audience about a viewpoint, to inform, educate the audience about new information, new facts, and to entertain, which is to let the audience enjoy something. Okay, and if you all remember, okay, just now apart from just saying what the author is trying to convince the audience, okay, apart from just that, we also talked about this, right? What is the outcome of the poster? So we are also looking at what the author hopes that the audience will eventually do. Okay, this is the outcome of the creation of these sources. Or sometimes your teacher might use the term intended outcome. Okay. Okay, so we'll pause here for a while first and then we'll continue in the next part.